The first week of Big Brother 24 is in full swing. And during the premiere episode, the first head of household won, which is who nominates the first two people for eviction of the season. If the Power of Veto winner decides to use the POV, the head of household would have to nominate a third house guest. There are 15 other house guests besides the Ho during the first week eligible for nomination. However, in the first episode, Julie Chen Moonves revealed the first twist of the season. Whoever holds the title of backstage boss at BB Fest is safe for the first week. But they cannot play in the first week's competitions or vote during the eviction ceremony. They are also able to compete in the following Ho competition. The backstage boss also has the power to keep 3 house guests safe from nominations but no eviction at the end of the week. After the 16 new house guests moved into the Big Brother 24 house, they had to pick a ticket to enter BB Fest, which directed them to their preliminary Ho competition. 3 groups of 5 split into the porta potties, piercing tent, and merch stand, with the backstage boss sitting in a gold chair upstairs behind the stage. The porta potty competition was called Potty Talk, which had Monty Taylor advance to the final round on the main stage. The second competition in the piercing tent was called Piercing Panic, and led Michael Turner to join Monty in the main stage Ho competition. The final competition was endurance in the merch stand called Hanging Tough, which had Daniel Durston going onto the main stage to compete against Monty and Turner. Ultimately, Daniel won the final competition on the main stage at BB Fest in a competition called Drumming for Power. Daniel might have won the first Ho competition, but he won't be able to nominate Joe Pucciarelli since he became the backstage boss during the first Big Brother 24 twist. Pooch chose Alyssa Snyder, Brittany Hoops, and Paloma Aguilares as backstage pass holders. These 3 can't be nominated or vote but aren't safe from eviction. America will have until July 14 to vote 10 times to save one of them. Who did Daniel nominate for eviction? With only 11 options to nominate 2 house guests for eviction, Daniel the Elvis impersonator bonded with Nicole Leog early on day 2 to say, "I don't want a macho man to win this FC King show. But we have to do it strategically. Not right away." They formed a final 2 alliance called the Rogue Rats, despite saying he didn't want a macho man to win the game. Daniel stuck to his word by nominating 2 minorities on day 3 instead of any stereotypical Big Brother macho men. He chose Michael Bruner, who is openly gay, and the oldest cast member at age 47, Terrence Higgins, who is black, who was selected for Power of Veto. In a late-night conversation by the memory wall, Taylor Hale told Michael that he needs to talk game with the women in the back bedroom, known as the Jetsons room. On day 4, before Power of Veto players were selected, Michael went to the Jetsons room and asked if the first Brazilian to play Big Brother US, Indy Santos, would be willing to play for him. During the Power of Veto player selection, Daniel, Michael, and Terrence picked Amira Jones, Indy, or Turner to play in the POV competition. Kyle Capener, the TikTok star, was picked to host the competition. Who won the Power of Veto? Since Daniel won Ho and nominated Michael and Terrence, the ideal scenario would be to keep the same nominations. Michael was the HOH's original target, and he asked for Janelle Pierzina's metaphorical help before the POV competition. He said, "I am feeling good. I will let my anger and my rage motivate me." WWJD. What would Janelle do? Janelle would get out there and win the veto. She would fight her ass off and would celebrate and make a big scene. Janelle, who is now a fan of Alyssa Lopez, must have sent Michael some Minnesota mojo because she saw this specific update and tweeted, "Crush all of their dreams, Michael." Michael must have received Janelle's good luck because he won the first Power of Veto and is sure to take himself off the block at the first POV ceremony.